How outer body experiences work. Using outer body experiences work in a way, a person imagines self sitting in a comfortable environment, while listening to musical sounds, such as oceanic waves, rainfalls and so on. Some of the solutions involve instruments, while others use quasi-futuristic solutions, which headgear produces sound through electronic devices. The solution has proven to help one relax. Brain enhancement solutions today enable you to use techniques that guide you to relax the body and mind. You feel lucid after experiencing the sounds of nature, since you come closer to your creation standings. Some brain enhancement solutions involve machines. The machines function in a way that it improves your memory. Through electric solutions, your ability to recall new information and previously learned information becomes easier to recall. You develop innate skills that help you to think creatively easier, which help you to solve problems faster. How dendrites play a role in brain enhancement. Many of the solutions today speed up the brain's process to receive and send messages. The brain cells increase its volume to produce messages faster. Dendrites and brainwaves are the prime focus in some of the brain enhancement solutions. Dendrites are branches of extended nerve cells. The anatomy branches extensions of neurons that receive electrical signals from other nerve cells, which conduct these signals to cell bodies. The solutions today focus on brainwaves and dendrites, so that it can increase the reactions of signals sent to the brain, spinal column, central nervous system, etc. Sounds are incorporated into many of brain enhancer solutions. Using photocopy and other tactics, sounds enlighten the mind so that a person can relax. Some of the machines used today prompt clear thinking, quick thinking, and so on. The brain is highly functioning to process information at faster rates. Some of the brain enhancement solutions involving music boost the brain's power by revealing musical sounds that help the mind relax. In recent studies, students learning with music in the background revealed an improvement of 52 higher scales of processing information. The verbal communications improved over 36%. According to studies, using Mozart sounds of sonata can improve IQ of more than 7 points. We have so many solutions in brain enhancement today that it is next to impossible to find what works best for you. To help you find the best solution, however, we can direct you to the internet where you will find the latest solutions in brain enhancement. Take time to scroll through the various sites offer brain enhancement solutions, to discover how the products, training, musicals, etc. can benefit you. Taking your time to find what works for you can help you get the most out of your time spent to relax. If you are searching for the latest solutions, look for the Mental Edge products that have proven histories of enhancing the mind. Check out the reviews to hear about stories from other people who have benefited from various brain enhancement products, training, etc. used. To enhance your experience after finding brain enhancement solutions right for you, review aromatherapy. The therapy can add to your relaxation. The public reaction to brain enhancement is obviously, i.e. it follows similar traits demonstrated in the past. Public reaction to brain enhancement much warmer than expected. How the general public feels in reaction to the idea of brain enhancement. Interestingly enough, scientists have found that the general public is highly receptive to, and even excited about, the prospect of brain enhancement. This is generally not the typical public reaction to anything produced from the field of neuroscience. However, today, many of the newer discoveries in fields generally considered to be extremely specialized subjects are in fact often eagerly reported on by a wide selection of daily newspapers. Such as, for example, the widely differing functions of the brain's hemispheres as well as the innate properties of a variety of brain chemicals such as those relatively commonly known natural opiates, endorphins, as well as even more surprisingly in an assortment of immensely popular mass-market science magazines. Furthermore, articles on these same topics can even be found in women's and men's magazines, a variety of health periodicals and a whole host of other, often surprising media outlets. Why is there so much excitement surrounding the field of brain enhancement? Some exceptionally optimistic or unrealistic observers might suggest that the general public has suddenly developed an overwhelming interest in science, but these would certainly number among the very few. Such a hypothesis hardly seems rational. After all, one could argue that numerous discoveries have been made in a whole host of other fields as well: nuclear physics, math, biology, chemistry and advanced computer science, to name just a few. While these may have attracted limited attention in certain fields, none of them has made quite the same sweeping impact as the advances made in brain enhancement in the field of neuroscience. How does the excitement held by the general public for brain research differ from that of scientists? It seems, then, that the general public has attached a different and more appealing meaning to the concept of brain research. They may not be interested so much in the science as they are in the general intrigue of the thing. Perhaps they see in the field of brain research an opportunity for the ultimate quest of self-discovery. Scientists, of course, do not feel the same sort of romance in their work. Even if they did, they would still likely say that they were merely objectively studying a physical organ. The general public, however, would see things differently. The idea of the brain to them is one of great meaning, as it is often what they associate with the idea of their most intimate and interesting characteristics. It is something personal, it is somewhere that is completely private, and as a result has a greater intrigue for the layperson. After all, there is no place more private to touch than another's mind. What are the results of this great personal connection people feel with their brains and brain research by extension? Naturally, given the intense personal connection people feel with their brains, no pun intended, the layperson is enthralled by default. Odds are, Mr. and Mrs. John Q. publics are enthusiastic as the scientists over the contribution that such a new discovery would make to the whole field of neuroscience and brain research and enhancement in general. After all, unless they themselves are neuroscientists or at least passionate devotees of the subject, they will be less likely to understand the full implications of such a breakthrough anyway. However, they are far more likely to see in this discovery the illumination it provides to them as human beings. Discoveries to do with the brain, including the promise of brain enhancement, offer us all as individuals greater insight into our own personal emotions, thoughts, memories and, of course, intelligence. When scientists discover something new and exciting about the brain as an organ, we in turn have the opportunity to learn something new and exciting about ourselves. Discoveries in brain enhancement have made scientific headway. Discoveries in brain enhancement scientific solutions as made by scientists in the fields of brain growth, aging and regeneration. What discoveries have been made relating to brain enhancement as they relate to how our brains grow and age? How do these discoveries relate to the promise of greater brain enhancement and growth in humans? A certain number of discoveries have been made in the fields of brain growth, the brain's aging process and the brain's regenerative abilities that relate to the way humans learn or, of course, the way humans do not learn, in some cases. By studying these results and endeavoring to determine how this data relates to the general operation of the human brain, scientists are better able to understand ways in which they may manipulate the ordinary operations and learning processes undergone by the human brain and then, ideally, turn these discoveries into a practical form of use for humans. Brain growth and its relation to brain enhancement. Scientists have assumed for a long time that the physical size of the human brain, that is, physical size as it refers to the brain's weight, its number of brain cells and the thickness of each brain's cortex, is determined by a person's heredity. However, a series of studies into this heredity of the brain actually disproved in part this previous theory. Instead, researchers established that certain external stimulations enacted on the brain. These external stimulations, being often simply referred to as enriched environments, actually cause a distinct and pronounced increase in brain size, that is, referring to weight, number of cells and thickness of cortex, including, most astonishingly, the size of the brain's neurons as well as the numbers of specific brain cells. The aging of the human brain and its relation to brain enhancement. For a considerable time, scientists long assumed that after it reached its maturity, not only did the growth of the human brain cease altogether but there was actually an additional steady, unavoidable loss of brain cells. This, too, was upset by studies that are more recent. New studies demonstrated that provided it was given the proper sort of stimulation, the brain did not lose cells with increasing age as was previously believed. Instead, parts of the brain can in fact continue to grow. These can additional produce increased intelligence and even demonstrate a greater effectiveness in the function of the brain even after the human has reached ages as great as 70, 80, and even 90 years.